If you're a man over 60 and you've noticed that something just doesn't feel right anymore, you're not alone. Maybe your sleep isn't as deep as it once was. Maybe your energy fades by lunchtime. Maybe your erections, if they still happen, feel weaker, softer, or like a memory of what used to be. And while most people will tell you it's just aging, stress, or bad luck, the truth is far more surprising and far more fixable. Because what I've seen after 3 decades working with men just like you is this: one simple vitamin, taken at the wrong time of day, can quietly rob your body of the strength it's desperately trying to recover. I'm Dr. Laura, and after helping thousands of men regain their drive, their manhood, and their restful nights, I've learned one powerful truth. Most men aren't broken. They're just undernourished when it matters most. You see, while you're sleeping, your body isn't simply resting. It's working. It's repairing tissue, balancing hormones, rebuilding the pathways that fuel your energy and sexual response. But it can only do that if you give it the tools. If you feed the system at the exact moment it's ready to restore, that moment. Nighttime. Let me tell you about someone I treated a few years ago. His name was Raymond. He was 67, retired contractor, proud of his independence, but lately defeated. He sat across from me, hands resting on his knees, and said with quiet shame, "Doc, I feel like the lights are still on, but nobody's home down there." He wasn't depressed. His blood work was normal. His heart was strong. But his sleep was shallow, his libido was gone, and every morning he woke up more tired than the last. We ran some additional labs, and one thing became crystal clear. He was severely deficient in vitamin D3 now. Here's the twist. Most men know about D3. They think it comes from the sun, or they take it with breakfast and move on. But what they don't know, what Raymond didn't know, is that when you take it, changes everything. D3 isn't just a sunshine vitamin, it's a hormonal trigger. When taken before bed, it works in synergy with your natural circadian rhythm. It stimulates melatonin to help you sleep deeply. But more importantly, it fuels your testosterone production while you sleep, because that's when the real recovery happens. At night, quietly, if and only if the ingredients are present. Raymond started with one small change. He took a single soft gel of vitamin D3 right before bed for 7 nights. That's it. No expensive therapy, no intense diet, no prescriptions. By the second week, his sleep was deeper. By the third, he started waking up, not just more rested, but firm. And I remember his words exactly. "I didn't think I'd ever wake up like that again." His voice cracked. He smiled like a man who'd gotten a part of his identity back. And it all started with one overlooked vitamin, taken at the right time. So why does this matter for you? Because every night you close your eyes, your body has a choice to rebuild or to shut down. If it's missing vitamin D3, that repair process gets interrupted. Your arteries stiffen, nitric oxide levels drop, your testosterone slows, your sleep becomes light, and your energy suffers. But give it back even a small amount, and the repair cycle switches on. Testosterone rises, blood flow improves, the sleep hormone kicks in, and suddenly things start working again, like they used to. This isn't a sales pitch. I'm not here to sell you anything. I'm here to tell you something most doctors won't. The male body over 60 still wants to thrive, still wants to perform, still wants to be alive, but it's starving for the right signal, the right fuel, the right rhythm. And once you fix the timing, everything else follows. So if you're waking up foggy, flat, and frustrated, don't write yourself off. Don't assume you're too old, too broken, or beyond repair. Maybe you're just one dose away from getting your edge back. And D3 before bed. That might be your first step, but it's only the beginning. Because as powerful as D3 is, there's another vitamin, even more overlooked, that can balance your nervous system, calm your restless mind, and restore the desire that's been fading in silence. We'll get to that next. But before we do, I want you to ask yourself something simple, quiet, honest. Ask, am I ready to feel like myself again? If the answer is yes, then I'll see you in the next chapter. Because what comes next might be the piece you've been missing for far too long. Most men don't talk about it, but I've seen it in their eyes. That flicker of restlessness, that quiet frustration when they admit, "I'm tired, but I can't sleep." Or worse, "I sleep, but I wake up just as tired." That was the story of Harold, a former Navy technician, 71 years old, and still solid in build, but his spark had faded. He walked into my office one afternoon and said, "I'm not sick, Doc, but I don't feel alive either." His voice was steady, but there was something hollow in it, like he'd been carrying a silence too heavy for too long. I asked about his routine, his meals, his relationship, and finally, his sleep. He looked down and whispered for hours, maybe 5. "I'm up twice a night. Sometimes I don't even know why. And when I get up in the morning, I feel nothing. Not tired, not rested, just flat." But that wasn't all. When I asked about intimacy, something most men avoid discussing, he simply shook his head. It's like the signal just doesn't fire anymore. I miss wanting. I miss feeling like a man. What Harold didn't know, and what most men never realize, is that the spark he was missing wasn't just psychological. It was biochemical, deep inside the brain. The hormones and neurotransmitters that once fueled his desire, his motivation, and his sleep had grown dim. And all of them relied on a single, small, but powerful nutrient: vitamin. Restoring drive, B6 is the silent engine that powers two of the most crucial compounds in a man's life: dopamine, the chemical of ambition and sexual desire, and GABA, the neurotransmitter that calms the mind and allows deep, uninterrupted sleep. Without B6, you feel tired but wired. You want to rest, but your brain won't stop buzzing. You want to connect, but the fire just isn't there. Harold's lab results confirmed it. His B6 levels were low, not dangerously, but enough to slow everything down. His brain was running on fumes. His sleep was fractured. His libido quietly fading into memory. So I gave him a simple instruction: take 1 dose of vitamin B6 before bed, every night for 21 days. Nothing else. No new routines. No drastic changes. Just this one habit. And something extraordinary happened. By night 5, he told me his thoughts weren't racing as much. By night 10, he was falling asleep faster and sleeping longer. And by the end of the 3rd week, Harold walked into my clinic, smiling. Not just because he felt rested, but because he'd felt something else. He said it slowly with emotion. I wanted to touch my wife again, and more than that I could. That's the quiet revolution B6 can spark. Not just rest, restoration. Not just energy desire, because here's the truth. Most men never hear. You don't need to force your body back to life. You just need to stop depriving it of the nutrients it's been begging for. B6 is the bridge between alertness and peace, between calm and arousal. It helps you shift from the static of daily stress into the rhythm of nighttime recovery. And when taken before bed, not during the day, it works in harmony with your body's circadian cycle, giving your brain the message: it's time to reset. It's time to heal. It's time to feel again. Now, I want to speak directly to you, the man watching this who maybe hasn't felt right in months, maybe years. You're not broken. Your system isn't gone. It's simply misaligned. And no, this isn't about a magic bullet. It's about rhythm. It's about listening to your body's needs and giving it what it requires at the exact moment it can use it. B6 might be your missing rhythm. It might be what stands between shallow sleep and deep, nourishing rest. Desire? But even more importantly, it might be your first signal that the man you used to be is still there, waiting. So before you grab another cup of coffee tomorrow to push through the fatigue, ask yourself, have I truly given my body a chance to restore, or am I ignoring the call? Take B6 before bed to 30 minutes before. Let it settle into your nervous system. Let it speak to your brain. Let it remind your body what it means to want, to rest, to recover. Because this is just the second piece of the puzzle, and as strong as B6 is, it only unlocks your drive. It only calms the static. But if the blood still can't flow, if the channels are still too tight, then even desire won't lead to performance. That's why in the next chapter, we'll go even deeper, into the mineral that opens your arteries like a key, that lets your body receive the blood it's been trying to send. And for many men, that's the turning point where frustration turns to fire, and silence turns to strength. We'll talk about that next. For now, just know this: you're not too old, you're not too far gone, and you're definitely not alone. There's a rhythm waiting to be restored in you, and it begins tonight. There's something most men don't understand about erections, not even the ones who had no problem with them their whole lives. You think it's about testosterone, or desire, or even mood. But what it's really about, deep down, is this: pressure and relaxation. Your body must allow blood to flow where it needs to go, not through force, but through release. And if your arteries can't relax, your erection can't rise. That's exactly what was happening to Ken. Ken was 66, a former firefighter, built like a boulder, sharp mind, quiet demeanor. Still walked tall, still looked strong. But something was different now, something he wasn't used to admitting. He sat down in my office, his eyes scanning the floor before meeting mine. "Doc," he said, "I'm still attracted to my wife. I still want her. But when the moment comes, I can't stay hard." His jaw clenched slightly as he said it. There was shame in his voice, and fear, too. "It's like my body wants to fight me. I'm scared she'd think I've lost interest. But the truth is, I'm scared I've lost me." His labs were fine. Blood sugar, okay. Testosterone, not amazing, but not terrible either. Blood pressure was creeping up, but not dangerously. Yet something in his system wasn't firing. I looked deeper, and there it was: a severe magnesium deficiency. Common, quiet, often ignored, and yet devastating for circulation, sleep, and vascular function. What most men, and even many doctors, fail to realize is that magnesium is the gateway mineral. Without it, your arteries stay tense, your blood vessels constrict, your body stays in fight-or-flight mode long after the day has ended, and the result? Blood can't flow. Erections fade, sleep becomes shallow, muscles remain stiff, and you wake up feeling like a clenched fist, drained, heavy, lifeless. Magnesium does something no pill or prescription can. It teaches the body to release. But not just any magnesium. I recommended magnesium glycinate, a specific form that crosses the blood-brain barrier, calms the nervous system, and relaxes the vascular pathways without causing digestive distress. It's gentle, absorbable, potent, and when taken before bed, it becomes something even more powerful. A circulatory reset button. I told Ken, just take it once. At night, don't expect a lightning bolt. Look for silence. Look for stillness. And he did. By night 3, he slept 5 straight hours for the first time in years. By night 6, he told me the tension in his jaw and shoulders had vanished. By night 10, he wasn't waking up drenched in stress. But what really mattered, what made the shift, came on night 14. He woke up early not from restlessness, but because his body had remembered something. A fullness, a weight, a firmness he hadn't felt in over a year. He told me the story in a whisper, like it was a secret too sacred to share aloud. "Doc," he said, "I woke up hard and it stayed. It wasn't just a twitch, it was like my body had come back online." There were tears in his eyes when he said it, not because of lust, but because of validation. Because in that moment, his body told him, "You're still a man." That's the power of magnesium when given in the right form at the right time. It relaxes the smooth muscles lining your blood vessels. It allows nitric oxide, your body's natural erection trigger, to flow freely. It tells your heart, your brain, your groin, "You're safe now. You can receive, you can feel." Ken didn't need Viagra. He didn't need hormones. He just needed relaxation. The kind that starts at the cellular level. And here's where it gets even more important. Magnesium also improves your sleep architecture. That means longer deep sleep, better hormonal rhythm, and fewer wake-ups. So your testosterone doesn't just spike and crash. It stabilizes. You don't just feel better the next day. You rebuild. You restore. If you're listening to this and you've been battling that silent frustration, the one where you still want but your body won't follow through, it might not be about desire at all. It might be that your body is too tense to receive what it's asking for, and that's not your fault. But it is your opportunity, because with one nightly dose, just 200 to 400 milligrams of magnesium glycinate before bed, you can start to loosen the grip that age, stress, and years of tension have wrapped around your system. You can give your body the signal it's been missing. The one that says, it's okay to let go. And once that happens, flow returns. Not just to your blood, but to your identity, to your strength, to your mornings. So here's what I want you to do tonight. Just try it. 1 capsule, 1 commitment. 1 quiet act of care. No expectations, no performance. Just release. And then listen. Listen to what your body says when it's finally allowed to rest. Because what comes next is not just recovery, it's rediscovery. And once blood is flowing again, we have to protect it. The next step is about shielding what you've regained. The arteries, the capillaries, the delicate vessels that carry your strength. And that's where we go next. But for now, breathe. You've just unlocked something powerful, and your body is already responding. If you've ever wondered why your erections don't last like they used to, why your body feels slower, tighter, less responsive, even when your desire is still there, you're not alone. And the answer might not be what you think. It's not just about hormones, it's not just about blood flow. It's about what happens inside your blood vessels in the fragile, narrow tunnels that carry life to every part of you. Because when those vessels get stiff, when they get inflamed, when they can't open like they used to, nothing else works. That's what happened with Carl. Carl was 72, a retired school principal, the kind of man who always wore clean shirts, spoke slowly, thought deeply, and rarely complained. He'd been married for 40 years, still loved his wife, still wanted to connect. But something wasn't clicking. He came into my office one morning, cleared his throat like he was about to give a lecture, then paused, and I saw that hesitation in his eyes. That vulnerability most men only allow for a split second. "Dr. Laura," he said, "I feel like my body doesn't respond anymore, like I'm giving the command." But nothing answers. His testosterone was modest, nothing alarming. His blood pressure was a little high. His cholesterol, not perfect, but manageable. But something deeper was happening. I ran a vascular panel, and what I found was something I've seen too many times in men his age: endothelial dysfunction. That's a fancy term for something simple. Your arteries are tired. The inner lining, called the endothelium, is responsible for expanding the blood vessels when needed, for creating nitric oxide, for making your erection possible. And when that lining is damaged, worn, or inflamed, no amount of testosterone or libido can make the blood flow where it needs to go. But there's a way to protect that lining, to restore flexibility, to fight the slow rust that time leaves behind. And that way is vitamin E. Most people think of vitamin E as something for the skin, an antioxidant, something you find in creams or multivitamins. But what they don't know is that vitamin E, when taken in the right form at night, consistently becomes a shield for your arteries, a silent bodyguard that preserves blood flow and supports the very mechanism of your erections. Vitamin E doesn't stimulate, it doesn't excite, it defends, it prevents the breakdown, it keeps the highway clear, so the traffic your blood can get through. I put Carl on a nightly dose of natural, full-spectrum vitamin E. Nothing crazy, just one small capsule taken 30 minutes before bed. Why at night? Because that's when your body is in repair mode. That's when inflammation is cleared. That's when hormones rise. And that's when vitamin E can act like a janitor, sweeping away the oxidative stress that slowly damages your vascular walls. Carl didn't expect much, but I asked him to be patient. By the end of week 1, his sleep improved. He said he felt cleaner in the morning, less sluggish. By the end of week 2, his blood pressure had dropped slightly. And by week 3, something powerful happened. He came in quietly, sat down, and whispered with a half smile, "Tell the doctor it worked." His voice cracked a little. Not from pain, from relief, from pride. From the realization that he wasn't done, that his body still worked, that his marriage still had life. He looked me in the eye and said, "We reconnected." Not just physically, completely. I felt like myself again. That's the quiet miracle of vitamin E. Not a spike, not a sudden jolt, but a return to flow. 2. Strength. 2. Self. Here's why. Vitamin E helps prevent the oxidation of LDL cholesterol, the bad kind that clogs arteries. It supports the integrity of the endothelial lining, and it enhances nitric oxide availability, the exact molecule your body needs to create and maintain an erection, but only when taken at the right time. And only when taken consistently, you see your body does its deepest healing at night. That's when your blood pressure lowers. That's when your vessels relax. That's when inflammation can be reversed if you give it the tools. And here's something else. Vitamin E doesn't just protect your heart, it protects your confidence. Because when you wake up and your body responds, even if it's subtle at first, something happens in your mind. You stand taller. You feel capable. Again, you stop avoiding intimacy. You stop hiding from yourself. You become again the man you remember. So if you've been taking supplements in the morning, or skipping them altogether, reconsider your rhythm. Your body wants to heal. It just needs the right moment. To do it, take natural vitamin E before bed. Let it circulate. Let it do its quiet work. Let it prepare the stage for blood flow to return, not with force, but with freedom, because protection is just as important as power. And tonight, your body deserves both. But there's one more piece to this puzzle. One mineral, often forgotten, that sits at the core of testosterone, prostate health, and male identity. Without it, your efforts plateau with it. Everything changes. That's where we go next. For now, if your body has already begun to feel the shift in your sleep, your mornings, your mood, it's not coincidence, it's resonance. The systems are talking again. The flow is returning, and soon, the fire will follow. There's a moment, sometimes quiet, sometimes overwhelming, when a man realizes he's not who he used to be. Not because of age, not because of time, but because something inside him feels missing. A certain edge, a confidence, a fire. You don't always notice when it leaves, it's subtle. But when it returns, even for a second, it feels like waking up after years of being asleep. That's exactly what happened to Leonard. He was 69, a humble, hardworking man, ran a small hardware store in town, built furniture with his hands. A man's man. He had that quiet authority most younger men envy, the kind that comes from building a life. Not just talking about one, but something was changing. He told me, "Doc, I still love my wife. I still want her, but the connection isn't there. I don't feel like myself anymore. My energy is down. My body doesn't listen, and I hate feeling like I'm slowly disappearing." He wasn't sick, his mind was sharp, but his testosterone was low. Not dangerously, just low enough to dull the flame. He also mentioned something else. He had to pee more at night. His prostate was getting heavier. His energy crashed by early afternoon. His motivation, once solid as oak, now flickered like a candle in the wind. I looked at his blood work and saw it immediately. His zinc levels were depleted. Now here's the part most men and most doctors overlook. Zinc isn't just a trace mineral. It's the gatekeeper of your masculinity. Without zinc, your brain can't send the signal that tells your body to produce testosterone. Without zinc, your sperm count drops, your prostate inflames, your energy crashes, your libido fades, your erections weaken, and little by little, your body and your confidence begin to shut down. But here's the powerful part. Zinc works best at night. That's when your body naturally produces the most testosterone. That's when your prostate begins its nightly repair. That's when your brain resets your hormones. And if you feed it zinc at that exact window before bed, you unlock a chain reaction your body has been longing to experience again. I told Leonard, start small, just 15 milligrams of elemental zinc, before bed every night. Don't skip, don't rush. Let your body do the rest. He followed the instructions. At first, nothing dramatic, but he felt something shift, a lightness in the morning, more energy after lunch, a clarity in thought. And by the end of the 3rd week, he came back and said something I'll never forget. We held each other last night, he said, not just like husband and wife, but like man and woman. I felt capable again. That's what zinc gives back, not just testosterone, but the foundation of feeling like a man, because this is bigger than biology. This is about identity, presence, the sacred rhythm between your brain, your hormones, your body, and your heart. And when all those systems talk again, when zinc activates the signal, you don't just perform, you return. Zinc also has another gift. It protects the prostate, reducing inflammation and blocking excess estrogen, which can rise as you age. And when your prostate is under control, your sleep improves. Your urgency fades, your flow strengthens, and your nights become deeper, fuller, more restorative. So what does this mean for you? It means that even if you've felt defeated, even if the fire's been gone for months or years, it can come back. It wants to come back. You just have to give it permission, not by pushing, not by forcing, but by feeding your body what it needs at the right time. Zinc before bed. It sounds simple, and it is, but it's not just a mineral, it's a message. A message that says, I still care, I still believe. I still want to be myself again. And when that message is received by your body, by your brain, by your heart, the results speak louder than any prescription ever could. Deeper sleep, clearer mind, stronger erections, a renewed desire for connection, and a powerful sense of control over your own life again. But here's the truth. None of this works if you don't stay consistent. You've come this far. You've learned about D3 to reignite testosterone, B6 to restore drive, magnesium to relax the vessels, vitamin E to protect them. And now zinc, the trigger that pulls it all together. These aren't just nutrients, they're anchors, rituals, quiet acts of self-respect, not for performance, but for reconnection. And it doesn't take much. Just 5 minutes before bed, 1 capsule, 1 intention. 1 choice to listen to your body instead of silencing it. So tonight, make the promise to the man you were, to the man you still are, to the man you're becoming, because you don't need a new identity. You don't need to be 25 again. You just need to remember that your body still works, if you work with it. Now, take what you've learned. Let it sink in. Let it become a rhythm. And if this journey moved something inside you, if a part of you whispered yes while reading this, let that be your first step. Don't rush. Don't question. Just begin. Start tonight. 1 vitamin, 1 quiet moment, 1 man coming back to life.